salawat ya Rasulullah minkum. Always a reminder for myself. But for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence in this holy month of Qamar and realities of Divinely love and Divinely guidance. And some people said, oh, the sun and the moon, we should make a nice anime showing that Allah gives the standard of guidance by the signs on the outside. Said that Allah always gives for us that I'll show you the signs within yourself and outside. Within the self are the people of tafakkur whom are very few in number, they're exceptional, they are the exception. That they've trained themselves to look inside for their answers and their solutions. But for the mass of people, they can easily witness the signs outside of them. And alhamdulillah, in the month of Qamar, in the month of the love of Sayyidatina Fatimah Zahra and coming towards the end of the holy month, the words of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is all about love and guidance. And Allah gives to us the example of the sun and the moon, that the sun represents light and that which is eternal is a light, and that star has no mass, means it doesn't represent anything from a dunya reality. And that which has a mass, if it wants to achieve its perfection, it must follow the sun. And as a result of following the sun, it receives the light and the guidance. It doesn't change its course, it doesn't look to other things, it doesn't read other things, it has no interest in anything except the realities of the sun, in which Allah has given its coordinates. Even says it's he and she, that to be submissive gives the understanding of family, gives understanding of guidance, it gives understanding of our roles in life, is that we're not going to be a light, we're not going to be a source of light. And
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
we're not going to think ourselves divinely in nature. The sun is the sun and it has a light and represents eternity. This sun is the same sun from beginning of time. That if we want to understand what's eternity in our lives and in our daily example, and Allah gives to us, Prophet teaches for us, look to the sun. This is the same sun that the Prophet Adam looked at. This is the same sun that all the Prophets looked at. It is the sign in our lives of eternity, and as a result we get an understanding that the light is eternal. And if we want to reach perfection, so how do we follow guidance? Allah says, look, that all your understanding of time and coordinates and guidance upon this earth is based on the secret of guidance. And if the moon completes its cycle focusing completely upon the sun, taking its difficulties because it has been bombarded and completely tested, there's no structures upon it like the earth. To the extent of the earth there are hidden structures, But the physical structures that are there, it doesn't represent that, means that it has a love only for the sun, and as a result it has the ittiba and follows. Wajib al-taqleed. In our belief system it's wajib to accompany guidance, and this for us then becomes the greatest symbol in our lives, that if you understand you're not a sun and you're not going to be a source of light, but if our life is to be perfected, we take our testing and we have firmness in our belief in our path, we keep following the love of Prophet. And this is the star maker, that the reality of Prophet will reflect these lights of Allah and make you to be qamarun, and this is the greatest honour of creation. So not to be divinely, not to think that we are sons and that we are a source of light, but Allah gives to us that to keep our path to be humble, the greatest that you can achieve is follow the light, and that way we don't go left, then we don't go right. As a symbol of that guidance, it's Allah's structure. When other people come to argue and debate with us that there's no guidance, who said you have to be guided? Well, Allah shows. Why the sun doesn't just move in its own coordinates, the moon randomly change its coordinates, why isn't there just chaos in the skies? Why is everything so disciplined? In which Allah describes it's in an orbit, as if He's laid the tracks and it can't move and deviate without Allah's permission. And this becomes the symbol of guidance, the daleel and the proof of guidance, that no, Allah has all of these realities for us to see. If we want to mimic nature, because nature is a symbol of submission, then we can achieve great realities. When we negate ourselves of ourselves, we begin to reflect that which we are moving towards. If you like something and you like it too much, you will reflect that reality. So before you become a moon to something incorrect, because that whatever you focus on in life focuses on you, because this is the reality of this tawajjuh. Because we're trying to open the powers of the heart, we're trying to open all of the realizations of Allah wants to open for our hearts, Prophet wants to open for the heart. This is the reality of the nazar and the gaze, the tawajjuh, that you want the holy face to be looking at us in life. And once you're reaching sincerity, once you're reaching to all these realities of tafakkur, one of the powers Allah wants to open for the servant is the reality of this holy face. But how the reality of the holy face is going to be opened when the servant doesn't understand what their consistent coordinates must be, and that becomes the sign. Our life is the love of Prophet, and all those who represent that love, we took a path in which to follow, and as a result the proof of the following is they teach only the realities of Prophet. Why? Because all the moons in training must only be focusing on the sun, must only be focusing on that source of light, that source of reality, that eternal reality of guidance that Allah gave to us. As a result, that which they focus on and they learn to love, learn to respect, learn to have the understanding and disciplines of obedience, then that which you love loves you. That which you accompany in actuality accompanies you, and that which you focus on focuses on you. And the best of that which to focus on is the reality and the haqqaiqs of Sayyidina Muhammad. Now look at this is the truth and the reality, then look at what dunya is doing. Right? The largest social media platforms is called what? By the face. Why? Because they want that face. They want the face of other people to be focused on. They want you to put your face out so people can focus on your face. And that's the danger of the hearts of people, is if they come across influencers, they even use these words. Why? So that the hearts of people lock onto them and they follow the wrong reality over the cliff of perpetual doom. They follow them, they idolize them, they look at everything they do, they want to get the same. Whatever they buy, they want to buy. Whatever they eat, they want to eat. And they became moons to a much lesser reality, almost a fiery reality, in which it takes you for all of eternity towards difficulty. It's already happening. This is why the proof of there's no grey anymore. There's nobody saying, okay, these are nice, but I will stand on the sidelines. There is no sidelines. The overwhelming tide of negativity is pushing. It's like swimming against the tide, which is very difficult without support. Means that when Allah wants to guide the servant, He's guiding with lifeguards that come out. If anyone's stuck in an ocean and a rip tide, there's no way out of the tide. And the only way out of the tide is if Allah sends somebody to save you. And with today's technology, they don't even swim out to save you. They immediately get on a device and traverse through every wave and tell you to jump on the back and take you out of that difficulty. If for this petty ocean and this small dunya has all of these resources to save, what about then Allah has for His believers and for His servants? That guidance, when Allah wants to give guidance against the overwhelming tide of negativity, which from childhood everybody is now focusing on the wrong faces, and those faces are pulling and drawing people to the wrong understandings and negative and horrific energies. So there is no a possibility for somebody to be a bystander. And the only hope is that, no, Ya Rabbi, I want to move towards the light and towards realities, and as a result Allah will send to the servant guidance. And only through the guidance their souls, they're like lifeguards in this ocean of distress and horrific realities of shaitan. The shaykhs must be like a lifeguard. They must have been given abilities and spiritual equipment, hypersensitivity for what? To pull people out of that tide, to teach people how to get out of the tide. Everything that they're teaching is about how to make that connection. So when they increase the love, follow the practices, do their tafakkur. Why? Because when they're doing their tafakkur they're contemplating on the shaykh. They're now getting the understanding of being a moon, and that the shaykh represents a reflection that he is a stronger moon. And because his continuous focus upon the reality of Prophet what's happening? Prophet is dressing his face. And 7 openings Allah is dressing from Divinely attributes. As a result of this dress upon the shaykh's face, he reflects it to the students. And the students become the moons in practice, in which they're practicing their lives how to keep that focus. Means through the busy and active life they lead, they train how to connect, how to meditate, how to focus on the face of the shaykh, to keep the concentration upon that reality, and that to be dressed by that reality, and that their life is always like the moon following the sun. And as the shaykh is following Prophet and reflecting these lights, by the reality of the moon it reflects the light that is sufficient for the believer. And that's the actual purpose of the sun and the moon, right? If the sun shined all the time on the earth, what do you have? You have a desert, right? There's no vegetation, nothing will grow. So even between the reality of the light and the moon is immense. So then what farmers found out is that everything grows by moonlight, no sunlight. That's why they follow the cycles of the moon. It's called the farmer's almanac. that everything is actually raised by moonlight. Hence the reality of awliya and pious souls and the reality of the prophetic light. Means the sun comes to sweeten that which is growing, not raise it. Because if it raises it with its power, it actually burns it, make it to a desert. So that's why Allah has Atiullah, Atiya Rasul wa ulul amri minkum. So it means their whole focus and their teachings, what Allah wanted is, yes, follow those whom follow the light of Prophet. They reached a point that they're like capable of carrying that light and that reflection that comes to them from their shaykhs. And their purpose of existence is to develop these moons, that those souls whom Allah has inspired within them to come to the light, come to the realities, come to your purpose and your existence to receive those Divinely treasures. So then they're trained and then the reflective light to the capacity that's sufficient for them to grow, not to burn them. You know, people say, well okay, why do I need anything? I go directly to Allah. Okay, but that was even more powerful. Beyond, you won't even be a desert, it would be completely fire, because the Divinely light and power of Allah is not something that somebody can focus on and carry. So it's not to that understanding. That's why Allah says in Qur'an, if we reveal our words, our message to the mountain will be dust. So Allah is a super power source, and people thinking that they're going to plug their plug and they're going to get guidance from Allah, Allah is going to talk to them, guide them, do everything, and they underestimate the immensity and the magnitude of Allah and the ihtiram, the respect. It's not respectful for a servant to think that they're going to connect directly to Allah. Allah is the power of everything, it's already given. But Allah created a representative. My nazar, my power is upon this representative. This representative, because everything's an analogy. How do I connect with the universe? When Allah said, what are you connecting with the universe? You can't even stare at the sun without it burning your eyes. You can't even phantom taking a ship now and moving into the sun without the sun completely obliterating you. And Allah said, you can't carry that reality. Now you want to go to the source and the power of the entire created universe? So everything has a humility in the process of spiritual growth. Then, Ya Rabbi, I'm nothing to do anything like that. And if I look at the sun, it will burn me. But if just a little bit of that meditation and salawat is enough to make me sweet. And my life was to learn my protocol, my manners, my whole understanding of realities, to follow the moon. And when I follow these moons, they're training me how to be a moon. They train me in my character, my mannerisms, how to recite, what to recite, how to do the durood, how to do all the practices, how to do your salah, how to focus on everything that you're doing. Why? So that they can train us to be moons, so that we can correctly reflect the reality of the sun like satellites. That the sun sends to the moon, the shaykhs send out to their moons, to the students, and everybody receives the light in which they have a capacity, and that not to be hurt. Guidance is not to hurt and annihilate people with energy and with power, but to sufficiently allow them to grow. As they practice more and more in their practices, as they become stronger, then more reflection can be sent out to the capacity of what they're training with. If they don't train, and we've said before that I want to see Prophet, they say, you're not training to see, you're not training to reach to these realities. It's not just the energy comes and annihilates you, everything has to be towards capacities, towards training, towards building one's energy, one's ability, like exercising and say, go pick up this 500 pounds. It will break your back and your arms and legs. Everything has to be with the discipline and then slowly building oneself up with their spiritual energies so that these lights can be sent upon us. This is from the haqqaiqs of tawajjuh. That when they train and train and train, they have a strong connection with the face of the shaykh. And as a result of that connection, when they make their du'a and when they make their connection and their muraqabah, they're communicating with the face. That is the source of their faiz and energy. We said before that the face of awliya, for us to understand the equivalent on this dunya, are satellite stations. Not satellite station, what are they called? These radio towers on earth? Where there's a big tower and based on the dish on the top of the tower are the faces of shaykhs. Through the face of the shaykh they're transmitting these signals across the earth. From the more powerful shaykhs that are sending across continents to the lower level shaykhs, there's no low because they're all blessed, that are receiving signals. Through their face is Allah's network of power that moves across the earth. So just like for us to see like a cell dish and you see on the top of the dish there's a transmission going through. This is the dunya. But for heavens, Allah through the face that been trained. These faces that been trained, they take their power from the face that they connect with. As a result, this tawajjuh, this face dresses them, dresses their 7 attributes with energies, with lights and with realities. And as a result, when the students make their muraqabah and their connect, they're connecting directly with that power station. And that power station begins to dress them, to bless them and to begin to open these emanations and faiz upon their souls. We pray that Allah grant us greater and greater understanding in this holy month of the realities of guidance and lights and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad and to follow those whom exhibit that love with their deeds and with their actions. That's why the love of the holy companions and the love of Ahlul Bayt make us to be kamil, make us to be completed. The secret the family carries is the family, there's no comparison. They don't say, oh no, this one carries more than… The family is family, family is always family with family. So the love of them, respect of the family of Prophet there's nothing like unto them. And love for the companions and immense respect for the companions because Prophet gave immense secrets. As a result, it makes us to be complete and perfected with the love of Sayyidina Muhammad because his rida, his happiness and his joy dresses the servant that you did the correct way. You loved whom I loved, you respect whom I respect, and as a result I see, like what we said last night, I see your name in my companions' hearts and I see your name in my family's hearts, and as a result I'm with you. And that is the sincere dress for the servant. We pray that Allah dress us, bless us and forgive us our wrongdoing. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa, bi siri Surat al-Fatiha.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.